Did a lot of people just forget the evil and treachery we went through like 5 years ago?
Safe and effective.
Yeah, I don't. As of course, a lot of people have seen to just forgive and forget. That's not the right thing to do. As of course, Joe Rogan just hosted Kentucky Senator Rand Paul on his show, and he released a major bombshell regarding what Trump's DOJ is doing with criminal referrals of the highest extent. An open and shut case that is a slam dunk for any prosecutor that's available for them right now that isn't being taken, as of course Fauci and his minions are still waging war against Maha and the incredible work that they have been doing when it comes to our actual personal health and well-being. As this is going to be a very serious conversation, as there's many open and shut slam dunk cases that Pam Bondi is not taking. Allegedly, the frustration is building amongst Donald Trump. And will there be some legitimate actions or more strongly worded emails or letters? There's a lot of those, as a lot of people are kind of questioning the Republicans and what in the world are they doing? As U.S. Senator Rand Paul has recently been attacked by Donald Trump, he has answered back by kind of being more favorable of Donald Trump, and the situation is kind of unfolding in a very interesting way, specifically now with this Joe Rogan revelation that we're going to be talking about and playing in this particular video. And if you appreciate these types of conversations, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all the time that you spend with us here on this independent media new YouTube channel that's doing incredibly well. We might just transfer all of our main work on this channel, by the way, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, now, full disclosure, me and Rand Paul have a little bit of a checkered past, to say the least. But overall, I think he is, even though I disagree with some of his personal decisions and some of his approaches or politicking, I think overall, still, putting aside our personal differences and grievances and drama, I think overall he has been one of the few people that has done the most amount of tremendous important work when it comes to exposing government treachery and overreach regarding the coup, regarding what happened 5+ years ago. And he has been an incredible exposer of government crime, waste, and abuse here. As on the Joe Rogan podcast, we got to see that. As of course, they talked about how the government was forcing a procedure like it was a religion. He compared Dr. Fauci to J. Edgar Hoover, suggesting that Fauci conspired with organizations to hide a lot of the really evil stuff that he was doing. As of course, Dr. Fauci, as soon as the Patriot Act was passed, he was given a blank check with his, quote, 50 years of public service to work on bioweapons. And that's exactly what he did. And then, in my opinion, it was deliberately released on the general public. And I have a lot of circumstantial evidence suggesting that that is the case here. Rand Paul also talked about how the Trump administration wants to bomb Mexico. He's saying that that is probably what is going to be happening next. Said the U.S. should pass a law banning Lindsey Graham from the White House. Donald Trump has kind of been cozying up to Lindsey Graham. When Donald Trump brings up Lindsey Graham to his audience members whenever he's speaking, the audience members boo him. But Rand Paul did praise Trump on the southern border, saying that it is actually shut down. But the biggest, I think, thing that Rand Paul exposed was how Pam Bondi still hasn't acted on his criminal referral of Fauci. Now, Tulsi Gabbard also had many criminal referrals that were sent to Pam Bondi that were never acted on. One of the criminal referrals that was acted on against James Comey was dropped because of a technicality, was not restarted. Trump's frustrated. I'm frustrated. Everyone's frustrated. But this is the portion here from the Joe Rogan podcast that's gaining a lot of attention, and I think rightfully so.
Well, one thing we do know is that when Biden left office, he was granted this very bizarre pardon where he got a pardon that goes back to 2014 for crimes he was never accused of, never convicted. I mean, it's got to be one of the first times that anybody's ever been pardoned.
I think...
Yeah, why was Fauci given a blanket pardon when those were the exact times and years when he was working on specifically gain-of-function research, which he lied to Rand Paul about in public congressional hearings and Senate hearings, where he was directly asked, hey, gain-of-function, you're just trying to make this virus as lethal as possible, and you were working on the same kind of genetic sequence that was released on the world during the coup? Huh, what a coincidence there.
I think it should be challenged. And so we have, under the Biden administration, I sent criminal referrals for Anthony Fauci to Merrick Garland twice.
Because Fauci lied, clearly. He did, through his own admissions. He lied. And when Republicans lied, Merrick Garland and all their DOJ officials went after Republicans. And they went after him very viciously. And they arrested him. They threw him in jail. Dr. Fauci, though, lied knowingly. Nothing happened. Well, look at that.
And I sent them evidence that he had lied to Congress, which was a felony. They just ignored me.
Now, here comes the bigger bombshell. Now, before playing the rest of this clip and talking about the Clintons and Pam Bondi, just really quickly, we wanted to remind you to check out thebestpoliticalshirts.com, where you can get shirts like the one that I'm wearing right now that says Make America Florida. Florida is about to probably get rid of property taxes. I love this state. It's an awesome, beautiful state. The Beanie Man now is in this state too. I was just with him over the weekend. You want to find our Florida shirts? You just type in Florida right here into thebestpoliticalshirts.com, and you get a lot of really cool, fun Florida gear. Ones that says, don't New York my Florida. Don't try to New York our Florida. And then, of course, Make America Florida. I wear it here in Florida, and people in Florida love it. And we have it available in black. We have it available in short sleeves. We have hoodies. We have V-necks. We have women's shirts. We name it. You name it. We got it all on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. It's a great way to get like high fives and like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, that's a cool shirt. Hey, I love it. It's a great way to be like, hey, man, yeah, cool. Oh, you also think the same way I do. That's rare. Let's talk. Let's be friends. This is a great way to find potentially a spouse, to find a significant other. I have so many boomer mimas coming up to me like, oh, look at the shirt. Oh, they're like chickens. Like, oh, they're like roasting. Oh, I like it. I like it so much. The Latinas here love. Miami has a lot of Cubans that don't like communism. So I have a lot of anti-communist shirts like, ooh. What is it? Lindo, whatever they say. You know what they say. Like, ooh, papi chulo. Oh. And I'm like, get English. Speak English. Anyway, thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Check it out. We got a lot of funny shirts. We're going to move towards limited edition t-shirt runs. We have way too many shirts. It's way too many for you guys to choose. I'm going to eliminate a lot of them. Get them before I eliminate them. I'm going to tell my members this on lookandfilter.com. Get whatever shirts you want, because a lot of them are going to be gone. A vast majority of them are going to be gone very soon. And then we're going to move towards a new model of, and this is how the t-shirt companies do this, one t-shirt per week. Here's our new t-shirt. It's only available for 1 week. You don't get it. You don't get it at all. That's it. Lookunfiltered.com is the website, and go check it out. The Best Political Shirts is the website. It's in the description. Go support us. Go support yourself. Now, here's Rand Paul once again going off about a very important subject here.
I've been working with Bobby Kennedy, and he's been very helpful on this. I have a good relationship with him. He's given us a lot of information, and we've looked at the communications. And in Anthony Fauci's communications, we now have evidence that he was telling people like Francis Collins, read this and destroy it. Well, you can't do that. The executive branch, when they communicate, they're required to keep their communications, and they're required to do it on government devices. So we have this evidence, and I've summarized it again in a criminal referral to Trump's attorney general, and I still haven't gotten action. But there's a couple reasons we should do it. One, he shouldn't get away with lying. He should.
Yeah, I mean, challenge the auto pen, challenge the pardons. Trump has talked a big game about this. But like, two, if you open up the criminal investigation, we might actually get further evidence of what happened. And I think it's of absolute critical importance to find out what happened here, because if we don't, and we don't hold the criminal elements that engineered a virus accountable, they're going to make more viruses, and then they're going to release more viruses. Do you want more viruses out there? No, I don't want them.
shouldn't get away with destroying records. But two, we should check the pardon. Is an auto pen pardon valid? And is a pardon a retrospective pardon back 10 years that doesn't mention a crime? Can you give people a pardon for everything they did in 10-year period? I can't imagine, and I think the court might narrow that. But it doesn't happen unless the Trump Justice Department will do something. And I've been sending them referrals, and I can't get them to do anything. I can't guarantee they'll win. They might lose, but they ought to go to court. Take it to court.
Yeah, it's of key utmost importance. Now, again, Fauci, there's a reason he got that pardon. There's a reason why Biden protected him. What else does Fauci have? Now, again, Trump has a mixed record on Fauci. A lot of people were saying, arrest Fauci. A lot of people are saying, hey, maybe instead of arresting Maduro, maybe we should clean house here first. And people who are threatening us with gene-specific biological weapons and engineered forms of viruses that could be released on the general public anytime, that have destroyed our economy, that have indebted us tremendously, that have destroyed mom and pop businesses, that ran a little frickin' dry run of a whole technocratic digital AI takeover, enslavement of the entire world, making it a prison planet for a temporary time, arresting people for going on the beach. Maybe those people should be investigated at least. At least. Trump's record on this, mixed, right? And you see that with the responses here. But listen, I'm happy Rand Paul brought this up. I hope there's a lot of public pressure. This administration does pay attention to what people online are saying. If you remember, just in June of last year, Kash Patel came out and says that we have a breakthrough in the Fauci COOF origin probe. As Kash Patel said in an interview, that his agency is making a breakthrough in investigating the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, Anthony Fauci being a key player in what was going on with the COOF. What happened to that? Kash, can we get some comments? Did he also provide more evidence and information? What was the breakthrough? Where's the breakthrough? What's going on here? What was the breakthrough? At some time, Patel cautioned Fauci's critics for expecting too much. Quote, "We just had a great breakthrough this week on Fauci," Patel told podcaster Joe Rogan in an episode that Joe Rogan released, explaining that the FBI had recovered phones used by Fauci earlier during the COOF years. They had always been looking for phones and devices he used while he was back in Trump 1, the first Trump administration during COOF, and nobody had found it until 2 days ago. Everybody listening to us shouldn't jump to conclusions. That's everything in there, he added. Maybe it's deleted, maybe it's not. At least we found it. At least, okay, the feds have an ability to find things that have been deleted, right? They have that tech. Right? We have an NSA that spies, tracks, and databases every little single thing that they do. Dr. Fauci was moving huge sums of money, was allowing Peter Daszak, Echo Health Alliance, CIA-connected type of institutions to do horrible stuff. And again, a lot of this started with the passing of the Patriot Act. And the passing of the Patriot Act, there was a provision there allowing a lot of crazy scientific experiments to be conducted, specifically when it came to gain-of-function research, right? And people are like, 50 years of service. You look at all of his service, especially what happened with AIDS and what happened with gene-specific biological forms of warfare and gain-of-function research. I mean, there are scientists that are saying there's no reason to have any of this out there. There's no reason to publicly do any of this stuff unless you're just trying to make biological weapons. Now, just a couple days ago, Wall Street Journal, Trump has complained about Pam Bondi repeatedly to aides. This is according to a source. Now, Trump publicly is saying, no, she's doing great. I think she has done awful. I think the whole Epstein debacle with the whole PR stunt, with the whole files are on my desk, is just absolutely terribly ridiculous. Now, Fauci and his stooges and his aides and his successors, they're literally trying to stop Maha. What's Maha doing? Maha is literally doing what I believe to be very sound national health policies that are rational, grounded in logic, and aren't a net negative for the American public. If you look at the health of the American public, it has been going down dramatically. And people are like, look at the 50 years of service. Look at the health of Americans going down throughout all those 50 years. Do you think that's a coincidence? No. In my opinion, it is not. It is probably a conspiracy to depopulate the world, as of course Fauci, Bill Gates, and all these other people are also tied in and also have long, extensive ties to eugenicists and people who believe that there's too many people in this world. Now, the fact that Pam Bondi and the Ice Maiden, Susie Wiles, also have weird type of connections to other big pharma organizations and agencies through consulting firms and all this other stuff raises some alarms, as, of course, the wolves are in the hen house. And people are like, no, they're just chickens. They're just like little chickens. I don't think that. Now, listen, we're getting a lot of this reporting that Trump is unhappy, but unless Trump acts, he's complicit in a lot of this stuff, and he needs to act, and he needs to act quick. As Yahoo News knives are out, Trump turns on Bondi with 2 brutal word takedown. The Journal said that the president is complaining to aides a number of times about Bondi, describing her as weak and an ineffective enforcer of his agenda. Yeah, to say the least here. We can't even get a prosecution of James Comey when you have an open shut case against them, and then he gets let off on the technicality and you don't follow through. Now you have another open and shut case to the Clintons. The Clintons just refused to testify. They are now held in contempt of Congress. Republicans, contempt of Congress, went to jail under the Biden administration. Pam Bondi should do the same thing. Will she? If she doesn't, again, she needs to be fired immediately. Trump needs to do this immediately.
Well, here we are again. I don't think it's any secret. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton joined her husband in defying a bipartisan lawful congressional subpoena to show up today. I think what's most disappointing to the Oversight Committee is the fact
Open shut case, charges now
that we have, in good faith, negotiated with the Clintons' attorneys for 5 months. Throughout the past 5 months,
and the 5 months are like, yeah, just give us a little bit more time. Yeah, we'll be there. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we'll testify about what happened with Epstein. There's probably an Epstein Gates Fauci connection, right? And probably some kind of eugenics operation. Probably. The way that things are shaping up, probably. Do I have any proof of that? No. Circumstantial, loose end connections, probably. And that's why I'm saying probably. I'm not saying it's a fact. I'm saying there probably was a lot more at play here, as Epstein was working on his own scientific experiments. He had his own offices at Harvard.
they've implied to us they were trying to make a date work. In fact, the last date we had, they notified us 3 days beforehand, said that they would love to come, but they have a funeral to attend. And we have bent over backwards to try to schedule the Clinton. No, I'm still talking. I'm still talking. Go ahead. Hey, get him out of here. You're not even a reporter. Get out of here. So here's the situation. We're going to hold both Clintons in criminal contempt of Congress. We believe that because this...
And then the criminal referral goes to Pam Bondi's desk, just like the Bermuda Triangle, and it just disappears. And why did it disappear? I don't know. I think we know why.
Subpoena was issued in a bipartisan fashion. The Democrats acted the day that the subpoenas were voted on in the subcommittee like they wanted the Clintons to come because they at that time, if you go back, they were wanting me to subpoena the estate, which I did. We subpoenaed the estate and got all the documents, everything. That was what the victims asked. That's what the Democrats asked. I think that's what the American people wanted. We subpoenaed the estate.
And listen, we got 1% of the Epstein files. I want the Fauci files. I want the Fauci phones. I want to know what the hell Fauci was doing. We deserve to know, since the huge amounts of personal liberties, the financial burden, the loss of our rights that were conducted under his treachery and rule that was barbaric and evil, in my personal opinion.
Got 100% of the documents. I have subpoenaed the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi for the documents, which they are producing. Now, we don't...
They stopped producing and they missed their deadline 3 weeks in a row. And again, Pam Bondi, the files are on my desk. There are no files. We just need more time. And then it's like redacted Bill Clinton. That's the timeline of events here. It's crazy. The Trump administration is talking about how Barack Obama also attempted to overthrow the government in 2016, the sitting president in 2017, and overthrew it in 2020, and how justice needs to be restored. Charge these people. Charge them. If you don't think there's enough charges, share this video, get it out there. This is crazy. We have a bunch of Fauci shirts, too, that are still a big hitter. I know it's like 5-6 years, but type in Fauci. I was wearing this one yesterday. People weren't able to see it. I guess it's still not up now, but we'll get it up in the making of this video. It says, know your parasite. Again, very interesting type of conversations that you will have just by wearing these shirts. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys buying these shirts, supporting this independent media broadcast, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on this brand new channel, youtube.com/LukeRadowski77.